All right, we're back at you with another one. Shout out once again to my boy Rich for getting this figure for me right here. This is the Super 7 Super Kaiju Godzilla -1 Train Biter. And yeah, so this is I just been getting however many Godzilla -1s I could get. I had the chance to scoop this guy up. I like the gimmick of the train biter. So let's get it out of the bag and take a closer look at this box. Okay, so this is, a really nice box, to be honest with you. You have the window to look at the Goji clearly, to look at the train also. So it's great that it comes with a little accessory, which is the train. It's got this nice brown and green picture of Godzilla -1. Looks like a drawing of him biting the train. And then it's Super Kaiju, Godzilla action figure, train biter. You have another window on top, which is really cool, Godzilla -1. You have the Godzilla -1 logo on the back, which just looks very, very nice. Super 7 logo, Godzilla -1. Same thing on the side, Godzilla -1 Super Kaiju, and then you could see the figure here, and it has Godzilla Train Biter. Excellent. Very cool box for a little figure like this. I believe this is a 5-incher, but it's a nice little presentation. All right, let's get him out of there. So just to show you the packaging here, here's the little clamshell with the Goji inside and the train, of course. And then here, if you look at the box, you have a nice picture, like kind of a diorama on the inside. It doesn't really come out, but it's just behind it. So that looks kind of nice. The box is really quality. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, so right out of the box, I'll tell you what, this is impressive looking for a figure this size. It's really nice. It's got good detail. It's got a really nice paint job, in my opinion. A pretty good, solid, rich paint job. I like the little brushing of the silver right there on his chest. As you can see here, the face sculpt is nice. The teeth look like they're really good. The eyes look pretty decent for a figure of this size. If you could see that right there. Yeah, the eyes are okay. And it's painted really, really nice. You kind of have this, like, bronzish, bone colorish color. It's like a bronze, almost bone color shade on the fingernails and toenails that really look nice and make this figure pop. And then you just have a really, really nice paint job and dorsal plates here. I love the brushing. I love the dusting on the dorsal plates here. They look really good. And they look really sharp all the way to the tip of the tail. And I really like Godzilla's design here on his skin, on his legs, on his tail. Look at the design on the tail. The detail on the tail. Really, really very, very nice. The detail on the top of his head. Excellent. The dorsal plates on the top of his head here. Look at that. Wow. Okay, this is a really sharp-looking Godzilla -1 figure. Amazing. And then, of course, you get the train here, and you can see where the bite mark is. So that's where you would put it into his mouth. But just straight away, right out of the box, it's super, super nice. Okay, look at that. Look at the detail on his neck and stuff. Very, very nice. I tell you the truth, I wasn't expecting it to look nice, but this nice because of the size of it, you know. I was expecting a nice figure because I do like Super 7. But this is already beating the expectations here because it's nice. I like the color of it. Awesome, and you can tell the paint job is pretty dope here. Now let's see what he could do. Okay, so we'll start with that famous Godzilla -1 pose when he comes into Ginza and roars. Excellent. Wow, look at how well done the teeth are and the tongue here. I love the blood red color of the tongue. I love how you see the detail on the tongue. Wow, the face is nice here. The eyes are good, they're serviceable. The teeth are definitely awesome. Look at how nice the teeth look here. Amazing. They're painted very, very well, and the tongue is painted really nice, if you could see that. Look at that. Look at the detail on the tongue. Fantastic. You're going to get some decent articulation here. The arms go around and out, and you're getting some nice bend at the elbow there. So that definitely helps. The legs go around and out. You're going to get very nice bend at the knee, and you're going to get a swivel and rock at the feet. So, and then the tail has some bendy wire in it, so you could get some nice movement on the tail. But look at that. Look how nice the colors look. And these dorsal plates on the bottom of the tail here are soft compared to these. So I like that. You know what I mean? That adds a little bit, well, we'll see if it adds a little bit of posability to the tail, but I have a feeling it will. But that just looks fantastic. Okay, that's absolutely awesome. So, wow, I really didn't expect much from this figure when I purchased it. I gotta tell you the truth. I got it for the gimmick of the train biting. I didn't expect it to be so nice. Look at that. You could get a beautiful tail off the ground pose here. Fantastic. And look how the tail holds its bend. That looks great. And you can see here I have, you can see the leg bends out, comes out, so you can get it wide. The feet turn like that, so it gives you like a nice turn. And also there's head articulation. The head turns side to side here. Would be nice if it looked up and down, but whatever. We're not going to be nitpicky for a 5-inch figure. But that looks awesome, man. Take a look at that pose, bro. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, man. That looks amazing. This is a really cool little figure. Okay, so, now I have to say, having this figure in hand, it was absolutely worth the purchase. Very, very nice. Wow, that's a nice action pose that you could get. That just shows you the bend at the knee. Very nice. Very nice. So that's going to give this figure some nice balance. You can see that knee's bent. That's all the way back. And that's nice functionality, ladies and gentlemen. Excellent. And, when you pose this thing, everything pops out on it. Wow. What good detail. Kudos to Super 7. These figures are nice, man. I had no idea. Sorry, Super 7. I wasn't quite aware of your game. And the tail is on a ball joint as well as being a bendy wire. So, you can move it around and bend it. And that's kind of nice. And that's a nice action pose right there. All right, let's keep going. Okay, you could get Godzilla -1 into an absolutely amazing running pose here. Look at that. Look how nice that is. And look what you could do with this tail. I love the functionality of the tail, man. You could get some cool, weird bends. The tail really looks realistic. It's a nice, different kind of tail. I like it. I like the way it's made, and the posability of it. But look at that. So you could bend the elbows, you could move the arms out, move them back, bend the elbows, make a nice running pose. Wow, everything is very fluid and works nicely here as far as the articulation goes. All right, that's a beautiful pose, man. You're not getting any waist articulation here, but I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter because the way the legs, the feet, the tail, the head, and the arms work, you could make him look like he's turning to the side regardless. And it looks like there's waist articulation when there is none. That's how good the legs and feet function. By the way, I love the different ways you can, move the feet to change the pose. Excellent, man. And the face is just very well done on this. Love the inside of the mouth. So yeah, that's a dynamic pose right there. Fantastic. Look at that, man. That's amazing. So I just want to show you about like how far out you could get the arms and the legs. And you could spread the feet out like that wide too. And this is another tail off the ground pose, which this figure has excellent balance to be able to achieve that. That looks amazing. Godzilla just lurching forward and attacking. Unbelievable, man. What a nice little figure. Can't say enough about it. Shout out to Super 7 for making this. This is cool. This kind of blew me away. I wasn't expecting that. Usually 5-inch figures, yeah, I get excited about it, but this thing is impressing me. Okay, you're going to be able to do a nice foot stomping pose. Getting this thing into poses is very easy. You know what I mean? And so far, it's got a lot of nice ones. So, underrated articulation, Good detail. Really nice face sculpt. Decent paint job. Underrated articulation. Everything is clicking on this figure. And that's a nice foot stomp pose. My one gripe would be, if you had a little bit of waist articulation and the head could look up and down, you'd be cooking. And the claws could turn, you'd be cooking with this figure. But it's still nice nonetheless. It looks awesome. Wow, you can actually do a very, very nice crawling on all fours pose here. Look at that, thanks to the swivel of the feet, man. Holy cow, you can really achieve a decent one. That's amazing for a little 5-inch figure. Look at that, bro. Look at that tail off the ground pose right there. That crawling on all fours pose. Super cool. All right, so what we came to see. Godzilla biting the train. Nice. And you can see the train's got some nice detail on it. It has, a spot where there's teeth marks. That's where you put it into his mouth right there. It's a groove. Fits right in, no problem. And that looks nice. You could recreate the scene from Godzilla -1 where he's biting the train. Fantastic. That looks amazing. Okay, so now here's something else that I haven't seen yet. I watched a couple reviews of this and I haven't seen anybody mention this. His hand grips the train also. His left hand. Amazing. So you can make him hold the train like that and look at it. How nice is that? That's awesome. So you could either have him bite down on the train or grip it in his hand. Fantastic, man. This figure is nice. Awesome. Okay, so I want to show you now how it scales with the Bandai Godzilla Action Figure Series -1 here, which I feel like this is in the same range of, you know what I mean? This is its competition basically, and there's things I like about both of them, you know what I mean? But damn, man, this figure's really cool and I really like it. It's got good posability, a decent paint job, but this Super 7 here might just beat it out. Just in terms of look at the difference in the detail. Like these figures are, I think, well, the Super 7 is a little more money, I think. You're talking maybe $15 more, so that's probably why it beats it out. But, these are basically, but this has up and down head movement too, because the head is on a ball joint here. It would be nice if that was the same way. But you know, you can see both of these figures are kind of radically different here. So they both offer their own thing. I think the detail is much nicer on this one, obviously. Yeah. But both of these, I'm happy to own both of these. They're both very unique in their own right. You know, I love this guy. Not to shit on him, but, you know, I gave him a great review. So I do recommend this figure highly. It's very, very cool for the price. This is like a $20 figure, man. So 20, 25 bucks, and it's nice for that price. It's bang for the buck. But so is this, you know. Beautiful. Look at how the detail jumps out on this guy. Can't say enough about it. And look how nice the dorsal plates are. Look how nice the paint job on the dorsal plates are. How it just pops. I love the contrast of the dark to light going down. Excellent, man. All right, and I'll show you how he scales with the Bandai Monster Series Translucent 54, because another figure like in the same category, basically. So just to give you an idea of the height there. Yeah. And I'll show you how he scales with the Super 7 Reaction Series Godzilla 1974 charged up version right there. Obviously, this is the little guy, you know. So it's definitely a step above that in height and in quality, you know. Very, very nice, though, both of them. Love this little guy here, right here. I love Eat Up Any 74. That's my favorite design. Beautiful dorsal plates. Beautiful blue on the dorsal plates. But, yeah, there's a scaling for you. All right, that's going to wrap it up, folks. And I'll end it with an awesome pose like that. And to say... I highly, highly recommend this figure. Go out there and get this. You'll be impressed like I was. You'll love it. You'll have fun with it. It's nice to pose on your shelf. It's bang for your buck. This to me right here is, you know, one of the best figures I've gotten recently for the price. Let me just put it like that, you know? I figured, I thought, maybe it's a little too expensive for a 5-inch figure. Now I know why it's the price that it is. Super nice. Look at that. And, you know, in every pose, the detail on this figure is goddamn breathtaking for a figure in its particular price range and size range. Absolutely amazing. So nice. Yeah, if you like what you see, go out and get you some Super 7, Super Kaiju, Godzilla -1, man. Like the goddamn video, subscribe to my channel, and I will be back at you with another one soon. Peace.